we are going to be exploring 3 practices, moving through some EFT, some gentle movement. You can do this either standing or sitting down. And then we're going to move into some breath work to close. These practices, the theme of connection came up for me when I was thinking what I was going to share with you today, a connection to ourselves, our bodies, our hearts, our needs, and our beautiful, honest, messy human experience and our peace. What connects us to that, to our peace, and also what pulls us away in those subtle and more obvious ways. These practices can set the conditions to meet ourselves with this wholehearted, non-judgmental curiosity. And everything here is an absolute invitation. You could do this whole circuit with your eyes open or closed. Eyes closed isn't for everyone, and that's okay. Follow what feels safe and right for you. And if something does feel too much, if it brings on a panic or anxiety, that's a good sign just to take a break. So don't push on through that stuff. So let's just start with a simple check-in. So getting your feet on the floor. If you're on a chair, if you're sat on the floor, then just have a good old wiggle into your seat. Maybe lift and scrunch your toes a few times. And we don't have to have the perfect posture here. It's more about just starting to feel that support underneath us, both underneath our body and underneath our feet. And just let your hands rest where feels good. So that might be on the body, that might be on your lap. And just simply noticing for a moment what you're arriving with. And without any pressure to do anything frilly with the breath just yet, just taking a few longer breaths. Notice the quality of that. Whether it's smooth, whether it's jumpy, whether it's shallow, whether it's deep. And what's your mood, your energy levels, stress levels? If there's any thoughts present, all of that is really welcome. And it's all part of that honest experience that you're having. And now on your next in-breath, just taking a full one right to the top, like you're filling up like a fresh glass of water. And as you exhale, you might blow or sigh or yawn that breath out the mouth. And taking 2 more of those breaths, just like that. Filling up comfortably and fully. And with every release of that exhale, just sense dropping a little bit more into your body. Now, our first practice is going to be moving into EFT. And so if you're not familiar with the tapping points, maybe having your eyes open just for these next few moments. We're going to be taking firstly the karate chop point, and then we'll move to the crown. I'll just talk you through it really quickly. To the inside of the eyebrow, and we can be tapping really lightly here, above the eyebrow, to the side of the eye, just below the eye where the eye socket runs, underneath your nose, your chin, and just below your collarbone where it starts to meet your sternum, and then the side of the body. I'll let you know when we're moving from point to point. If you miss a point, it doesn't matter. And I'll be giving you some prompts, but also inviting you to use your own words here. Now, EFT isn't about fixing anything or pushing anything away. It's really about helping us to hold challenges, stresses, things that challenge us. And instead of contracting around that, help us to change our relationship to it. Does it matter which hand? No, I would say use your dominant hand to tap on your non-dominant hand. Thanks, Richard. Cool. So if your eyes are closed before, close them again if that feels comfortable. And we're just going to start to tap on this side point, this karate chop point. Come back to that breath, that comfortable breath here, and you can let your hands rest down so your shoulders and arms feel comfortable. And coming back to that connection, that question of what pulls us away from our peace. What pulls us away from that connection to ourselves? And as you continue just to tap on that point, bringing to the forefront a most recent time that comes to mind where you felt pulled away. And that might have been pulled away into the past or worry of the future. Something or someone that pulled you away so you weren't able to hear your own needs. And something that still has a bit of a charge behind it for you. Might be from today, last week. Just welcome that memory in. And for a moment, noticing how your body responds to that. And what emotions arise with it. And how those emotions land in your body right now. And perhaps out loud or silently to yourself, just naming those. Give those sensations, whether they have a texture, a temperature. For us visual creatures in the group, maybe a colour or a shape comes up for you. And there's no need to analyse, fix or make meaning of that response you're noticing, because it's an honest one. And taking some deeper, steady breaths here as you continue just to notice that response in the body. And then rating that intensity of that response in your body out of 10. 10 being the most intense. And just take note of that number. Now, as I said, I'm going to prompt you broad phrases here to fill these in with your own words. And so let's begin. Tapping on that side of the hand. Even though this situation, challenge, fill in your own words here, is making me feel, and then filling in your emotions, sensations that you've noticed in the body. I accept and respect myself, even with this. Take a full breath. And keep on tapping on this point, even though in this situation, challenge, in your words, is bringing this response in my body, and name that. I'm choosing to support and care for myself right here, right now. Even though this experience pulled me away from myself. And this is brought up, again, emotions and sensations in your words. I choose to meet myself with curiosity and kindness now. And invite a big inhale here. And a full exhale out of the mouth. We're going to start with the crown of the head. And this emotion in your words. Into the inside of the eyebrow. And name the sensation that it's brought about in your body. And top of the eyebrow. Again, that emotion. To the side of the eye. In your words, the sensation that it's bringing about in your body. And under the eye. This honest human response to that situation. Under the nose. This honest human response to the challenge in your words. And on the chin. In your words, the emotion it arises. And under the collarbone, the sensation that's arisen in your body. And then on the side of the body, I accept that it's here. And I'm meeting myself with care and curiosity now. And the top of the head. This emotion in your words. that's alive in my body. And to the inner eyebrow. This sensation in your words that's communicating to me right now. Above the eyebrow. I know that it was triggered by the situation and your words. On the side of the eye. In your words, state what thoughts and worries it made you think and feel. And then under the eye. It made me think, say, feel this way in your words. Because it pulled me away from myself. It pulled me away from my center. Under the nose. It pulled me away from my steadiness and my calm. And the chin. And this was my honest response to this situation in that moment. And the collarbone. And this was my honest response to this, and then state the challenge that arose in your words. On the side of the body. And I choose to meet myself with acceptance and kindness now. And come to the crown of the head. But before we start with some more phrases, just take 2 big breaths here, in through your nose. And out of the mouth, whether that's you're blowing or yawning. And stating with me now, it is safe for me to meet myself with this curiosity and care. And that inner eyebrow. Even when the situation brought all this up, and you want to add some of those emotions and thoughts in your own words too. And the top of the eyebrow. All this emotion in your words. And the side of the eye. All the sensation in my body in your words. Under the eye. I choose to breathe deep now. With this honest response to that challenge, and that challenge put in your words. Under the nose. I choose to give myself this space to soften around it. And to the chin. I choose to give myself this space to be kind to myself around it. And to the collarbone. And I choose to give myself this time and care to accept how it made me feel and react. And the side of the body. Because I don't need to hold it anymore. Let's repeat that maybe twice more. I don't need to hold it anymore. I don't need to hold it anymore. And then the crown of the head. I choose to let this go in my body, in my heart, and in my mind. And let's repeat that twice more. I choose to let this go in my body, in my heart, and in my mind. And once more. I choose to let this go in my body, in my heart, and in my mind. And then just let that tapping slow, let it rest on the lap. Take a full breath in here. And then sigh, exhale, yawn, blow, however you want that exhale to release through the body. And take 2 more of those breaths. And in that final exhale, let that exhale drop you right back down into the body and notice what's here now. Maybe rating that intensity in your body out of 10. And what's left in the aftermath of that. I'm just going to give you another few moments just to drop into that. Get really curious. What's here now? And then if the eyes are closed, starting to blink them open. And we're just going to start by simply looking around the room and letting your eyes turn from side to side as well as the neck. And really taking the whole space that you're in. So looking to the top and the bottom corners of the room that you're in, making sure you're looking behind you. Just reorienting your body in time and space. Cool. Maybe if there's anything that you notice pleasant on the wall or out the window, just take that in and name it. And then from here, we're going to move into a little bit of movement, and you're welcome to do this sitting down or standing up. So whatever is most comfortable for you. I'm going to come onto my feet. So I'll give you a moment to make that choice and join me however you choose. You don't need any more space than enough that if you swing your hands, you don't hurt them, basically. And I'm just going to start by just bouncing on the balls of the feet. And I have to apologize, I'm in a bit of an office shed, so I might start setting off things clunking around a bit. And you'll notice that this sets off a bit of a natural shudder in the arms. So let's go with that and start to shake out the arms as well. And if you've got any shoulder injuries, just be gentle there. If you don't, you can really let your shoulders lift and drop. And you can stay still, or you can move around your room, move around the space. And once this feels a bit more familiar, let's bring the breath into it. So breathing in through the nose and out of the mouth. And keep that going, that richer inhale. And that big releasing exhale. And if you think of that charge that we were connecting to from that challenge in the EFT just now, just think of this as just getting anything left over moving. Shake that out. And maybe you want to take up a bit of space. Maybe send your arms above towards the ceiling. And get a sense of seeing if you can make everything move for these next 2 minutes. And maybe having a play around with that exhale, maybe the next few, you start to make a bit of sound with your exhale. See if you can make that just a little bit more satisfying. Nice, we're going to take 5 more breaths. So just get everything shaking, everything moving. And for these last 2 breaths, just see if you can get as much space taken up as possible. Stretch out your arms, maybe widen your stance. And then very gradually start to slow down that shake until you land on both feet, maybe a little bit puffed out like I am. And come back to that breath just as we have done that in through your nose. And satisfying release out of the mouth. Let all your attention drop down into your feet, where your body meets the earth. Notice all that's left over from that practice. What sensation your attention is drawn to. The breath is speeded up. Use that exhale a little longer than your inhale to start to slow it down. Lovely. And notice what's here. And from here, we're going to move straight into some breath work. So you're welcome to stay standing, or you can take your seat for this next bit. We're just going to gather our hands, almost like we're holding a small ball in front of our upper belly. Let your fingers be soft. And on your inhale, sensing the hands, your ball inflating. And as you exhale, your ball deflating. And just for these next few rounds of breath, just get familiar with this. See if we can get this movement and this breath to sync up. Now the next layer to this is shifting our breath. So we're going to make a husky quality with our inhale and our exhale. Now imagine you're steaming up your sunglasses. But with your inhale, you keep your lips closed. And with your exhale, you keep your mouth open. And just take a few rounds just to get used to this. Now on your exhale, making a real circular feeling with your mouth. So almost like you've got a ping pong ball space in your mouth. And then every inhale, making the arms a little lighter. Every exhale, just letting you drop into the feet, into the legs that little bit more. Softening through the toes, softening through the knees. Just connecting back, almost like we're drawing that attention back to your center with every round. That inhale is opportunity to draw in resource. Draw in a sense of steadiness. And just gathering back that attention back to you. Lovely. Let's take 5 more breaths, just like this. Lovely. Once more here. And as you get to the end of the exhale, just gathering the hands, one to the belly, one to the heart. Get a sense of receiving that touch and giving that touch. Receiving that attention and giving that attention. And notice what's here now. How are you doing? How are you feeling? How are you breathing? Thank you so much for practicing with me this lunchtime, everyone.